here today for our webcast, What's New with SugarCRM? A lot. We're about to hear all about it. I'm Allie Lippman, your Senior Customer Success Manager here at BrainSell, and I am joined today by Eric Tavener, who's the Senior Solutions Consultant at SugarCRM, and Martin Scheider, Head of Corporate Strategy at SugarCRM. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Before we get started, we have just a couple of housekeeping items. So this will be about a 45-minute presentation with a Q&A at the end. If you have questions, please type them into the question box to submit them throughout the presentation. We will send a copy of the deck and the recording of the webinar in a follow-up email after the event. Let's just jump through the agenda. First, we have a fireside chat with Martin Scheider, which I'm very excited about to hear all about what's new with Sugar. Then Eric is going to take us through a live demo, and then we will have time for audience Q&A at the end. All right, first things first, we have a survey that our marketing team is going to launch here in a second. Because this is a lunch and learn, we are providing lunch on us. So if you wouldn't mind just putting your answer into the poll, how would you like your lunch money to be spent for Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, or you would like to donate your lunch money, which seems to be coming in first place right now. We've got a few for Grubhub, a few for Uber Eats. All right, 76% of you have voted. I'll give you just a couple more seconds and then we're going to close that poll. 80%, any last minute votes? Wow, DoorDash is just not very popular. We're only 8% DoorDash. Okay, thank you so much. Now, I believe we have one more poll before we get started, and that is which SugarCRM product is your company using? And you can select more than one answer here. So we have SugarSell, SugarMarket, SugarServe, I'm not sure, and we're not using any sugar products at this time. All right, we have 74% voted, 30 seconds in, with SugarSell pulling in the lead. %. We'll give you a couple more seconds to get your vote in. Someday we're going to get up to 100%. All right, looks like the top answer was SugarSell, so that's awesome. We'll keep that in mind. We're going to show a bunch of cool stuff in SugarSell today, so really looking forward to it. But first, I want to launch into our fireside chat with Martin. Martin, I have a number of questions that I want to ask, but the first is, how is Sugar positioning and differentiating itself in today's CRM market?
Great question. You know, there's a lot of products out there. There's a lot of focus areas. There's, you know, if you look at even the marketing side of CRM, I think there's a MarTech landscape that has like 8,000 or something like that applications. So it's a crowded space. One of the things I think we do a little bit different is really focus on both our platform and how our applications kind of work together on the platform. A lot of the products out there either focus maybe really well, or better than some others, in one area. They might be a good marketing tool, they might be a good help desk tool, but very few are great all-around products for the entire customer lifecycle, sitting on top of a core unified platform. We call it a CXP, a customer experience platform. Other people might call it a CDP, a customer data platform. But really, there's some interesting things that we do. And since if you're using our cloud products, they're all kind of, the platform comes with it, right? You don't have to make any additional investments to get these benefits. And one of the things is that it's time aware, for example. And that's a really important thing, is our kind of constant time stamping and AI analysis means that we're learning cool things about the data flowing through your system without you doing anything, right? So it's really, we're doing the work for you in a way that's going to provide insights, and they're going to be pushed down, more importantly than ever, to the end users, the people at the interaction point between your customers, so that they can make better decisions, they can be more informed, they can move the process along, whatever's the necessary moment that's needed. And that's really different, because all of the other products that we typically see others considering either are kind of fractured, hobbled together products, or they're only good in one area. So the great thing is that we're really solid across what I call the triumvirate of sales, marketing, and support. But we're sitting on top of that really unique platform that Rich Green, our CPO, had a vision when he came on board years ago. We spent a lot of time and a lot of effort building it, and it's why it's so important to be in what we call the Sugar Cloud these days, because that platform is kind of endemic, right? It's intrinsically linked to your products, so you get all these super cool benefits without having to do anything, which is really cool.
Wow, that's great. I love to hear that. So one of the terms that we've heard thrown around a lot is high definition customer experience. So what does high definition customer experience mean to you and mean to Sugar?
Yeah, it is a broad term, and I think if you ask somebody who's maybe more involved with our analytics and AI products, they'll tell you it's about the ability for us to analyze your data along with anonymize huge arrays of terabytes of third-party data to create all these really cool insights. Someone like me who manages a SugarServe product thinks about the multi-channel experience and omni-channel experience that comes with Sugar Live and SugarServe, and we'll probably talk more about that. But the idea is having every customer interaction point and sentiment analysis and all those things just give you that, just like when we went from standard definition in television to high definition, it's just a new level, right? We're seeking a new plateau of customer experience, because now we have the ability, the technology enablement of the cloud and other trends and really cool things and developments that we're harnessing allow us to just know more about the customer all the time. It's kind of an always on concept of just consuming data, analyzing it, and learning from it, so that you just know your customers better without the kind of effort that you needed, right? And it's just that crisper, clearer customer view that we've really been looking for forever in the industry. And that's a huge boon that we've been able to add to the equation here. So it really is, it's a little bit analytics, it's a little bit having that omni-channel. It's really just again, allowing us to do the work to take that deluge of data that's around your customers, combining it, aggregating it, analyzing it against other third-party tools to make benchmarks and other cool things, to just make more sense of it, to provide insights down to everyone, really democratizing it across the board in ways that no one has ever done before.
That's awesome. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about what's new with SugarCell?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where with every 90 days there's something awesome coming out of SugarCell, and that's the beauty of being on the Sugar Cloud, right? Is that you're getting available to you whether you want to use them. You can take advantage of them. If you don't want to, just let them sit there, right? There are these kind of turn on great new capabilities that we put in every quarter. One of the things that has been around for a while that I think a lot of people probably might not have taken advantage of is our renewals console, right? Really, really cool capabilities with that in automating the entire, what I would call kind of duration-based services, subscription economy type changes that people are moving to, where customer retention, upsell, cross-sell, making sure that people either renew or buy again from you. If you know typically how long that's going to be, whether that's a very, very structured concept like a subscription, or a they're going to run out of this product in a year. Let's make sure that we set up the time and the milestones and the engagement points to make sure that they buy again, and automatically forecast with that, automatically create pipeline. It's a really cool capability. If you haven't checked out our renewals module and the renewals console, it's a whole new user experience for people who manage those repeat business, recurring revenue, subscription, whatever you want to call it. Really cool thing. Another thing that we've done, which I think Eric's going to show you, is our focus drawer. Really cool capabilities to really empower sales reps to have the data they need in like a single click. It kind of comes out of some of the things that we were doing with our service console and SugarServe, the idea of creating these tiles and trays, where if you're used to using Sugar, you've probably dealt with our sub panels, and you want to find something, you scroll down, you open that up, and then you want to look at it, and then you got to open it up to manipulate the data, or to maybe change it and save it, things like that. Now that all happens on a single pane that you kind of click through super quick, giving reps that kind of one-click access to everything that's important about them. There's no more doom scrolling around all the data. So really cool stuff there. A lot. I mean, look, there's so much really cool stuff in SugarCell. We've added more product catalog capabilities, which again include duration-based services, and understand, you can pull in and edit the timeline. So if you're selling, 2-year subscriptions or 3-year, rather than going out to create different opportunities and all this stuff, you just click and you select. It's just, every few months we're just coming out with really cool things. We've got a lot of really cool things coming up. I'll talk about that in a bit when we talk about the future. But those are 2 or 3 of the really cool things in Sell that I think are most exciting right now.
Awesome. How about SugarServe? What's new there?
Well, Serve, really, I think the biggest thing that we've done is around the omnichannel capabilities that we've put in over the last few releases, which we call Sugar Live, which allows you to take advantage of the capabilities of Amazon Connect in a fully seamless, fully embedded way, so that you've got chat, you've got voice, you've got email, you've got all the channels that typically in B2B, and even for a lot of B2C customers, you've got the full gamut, right? You can embed the chats on your website, and now you can put that on the Sugar portal. So if people are already trying to do self-service, they run into some trouble, they can chat and get help, so that they don't have to escalate to a phone call, which is typically more expensive. And all this is done in a kind of no risk, quick to deploy way. It's all automatically pre-integrated, and with Sugar Live, you only pay for the Amazon Connect services that you use. So you're not having to do crazy calculations of how much talk time, chat time, all text that you might be sending. It's all kind of pay as you go. So it's really nice, low financial risk, easy, to kind of go live. Really cool, seamless stuff to create that modern omni-channel experience for your customers. What we've seen through the pandemic, and just really over time, self-service, remote work, contactless, all those concepts really converging to make this a no-brainer for us. And that's one of the big things that we've done, in line with that same mode of this kind of new normal that we're dealing with, pandemic and post-pandemic, is self-service being more and more of really a driving factor of what people want to do inside their SugarServe. And so we've made a lot of configuration capabilities available inside the Sugar portal, both to make it more accessible to more of your customers for ease of self-service, but also what you can show and render on the portal is becoming much more easy in a drag and drop fashion to say, well, we want this module to be available, and then you can configure that module for a portal view in just a few drags and clicks, rather than coding or some crazy project. And like I said, we've got the chat enabled on the portal to really reinforce self-service capabilities, so people can get the things they need without a lot of effort. Really trying to drive that effort score for self-service down to as close to 0 as we can. It's kind of our no-touch concept, as we say, really making it as easy as possible. So a lot of that, making it easier to add attachments to cases and do that in a mobile fashion on the website, whatever it is, rather than having to go in there, create the case, save it, and then add the attachments later. You can add multiple attachments in one fell swoop. Really cool stuff that we're doing with that. We're adding more sentiment analysis inside the omni-channel recording, so you can quickly access archive recordings, but then also see a transcript with inline sentiment, so you can actually start to see, where did the, if it wasn't a great call, a manager can look and kind of maybe start to see where things went south, right? So really, really cool capabilities that we've been adding, and lots more to come with SugarServe as well.
Wow, that's awesome. And I'm really excited to show that in just a little bit as well with Eric. How about market? What's new in market?
So market, the big thing that we've been working on is what we call Nurture Builder 2.0. I think it's probably the most undersell of really what it is. What Nurture Builder really is, in my mind, is absolutely a dynamic engagement engine, right? And builder, because it's not just about nurtures, right? When we think of marketing nurtures, it's still very the same as it's been for a long time. Is someone doesn't convert or they don't buy from you, so you throw them in this nurture pile and you send them an email every 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is, just to stay top of mind if they do change. Well, this is this on steroids, right? That concept on steroids, where it's not just about nurturing customers that didn't convert, it's about nurturing the relationship pre-conversion, in post-conversion, if you work in a subscription economy or any type of service delivery, to ensure that you have customers for life, right? So there's a lot going on with that. And the cool thing is that it's drag and drop, it's dynamic. The cool thing, when you build these nurture models and they're live and they're running, you can click on one of the phases and there's a bunch of analytics that come up, so you can see, okay, well, this many customers came through this conversion path and then they clicked through here, or they didn't go through here. So you can really start to analyze in real time how your nurtures are performing and make changes. You can pause them, you can stop them, you can clone them and then rebuild one. So really do A/B testing around your nurtures, and nurture really is developing, to me, the kind of your engagement methodology and your whole vision for how you want your customers to interact with you online, right? Their digital kind of experience before they maybe talk to a salesperson, right? So you can do some really, really cool things with that. We're honing it and making it easier and more user-friendly and more dynamic with every release. I think that's really the marquee capability that we've added over the last couple of releases.
That's great. All right, how about the mobile app?
Well, with mobile, we've added a lot of cool things. One of the ones that's really kind of unsung is the dark mode, which is really great for people who work on mobile a lot. Dark mode saves your eyes and saves your battery. Really cool thing, and you can just toggle it on and off. A really nice just UX paradigm. We've added mobile quotes. We've added mobile product catalog, really kind of creating this on-the-go kind of light CPQ or configure price quote capabilities. So really, mobile's been really, we release mobile capabilities even more often than our cloud. It's almost every month we're putting really cool things out in mobile. A lot of cool stuff with mobile. The knowledge base is now mobile, so you can actually search the knowledge base. Is say you might not be an agent sitting at a call center, but you might be someone that solves problems, or you might even be a salesperson on the go, and you want to you want to be that consultative, helpful salesperson, and you really you want to find answers anywhere you're at. You can search the knowledge base, which is really great.
That's awesome. Well, I love hearing about all the unsung features. Which new feature are you most excited about right now?
That's great. Yeah. Now, if you're well versed in the sugar world, I kind of buried the lead a bit because with Sell, and we do have Sugar Predict, which is now active in Sell. I would have mentioned that as what's new, but this is the feature set that I think everyone at Sugar's most excited about. As some of you may know, last summer we acquired a company called Node AI, and it's a really amazing product line, and this brings us to kind of the next generation of sales, marketing, and support automation, really taking kind of the guesswork out of customer data, so to speak, with what we're calling now Sugar Predict. And we made a lot of noise about this, but what's really cool is it takes a lot of different modeling things where we have that time-aware analysis that I talked about in the CXP with this data enrichment, where we add this third-party company data and individual data, and it's all anonymized and built in these arrays to build like richer kind of lead and customer profiles for better AI understanding. And then we have this predictive modeling, right, where we can use the AI to build lead fit, lead conversion, opportunity win analysis to understand what might happen in the future. And then we have AI model testing for kind of going backwards. So, from day one, we can start looking at, well, what has the system done, or, what's happened in the system in terms of, leads in the system, opportunities in the system, and start to really hone for accuracy to build a lead and opportunity analysis and predictive analysis feature set. And we're going to see a bit of that, which really kind of guides, marketing professionals, business development professionals, and obviously sales professionals to the most likely opportunities in either maybe a quarter or even in the week, or depending on your sales cycle or your business model. It's saying, focus on these, defocus on those. So it really is about, it's about optimizing time. It's about removing all the roadblocks and the noise in the system so that people can be more effective every day. And in some ways, removing the blind spots, right? Where some people might not see great opportunities because they might be down their queue and haven't gotten to them yet, but this is someone's like, you got to get to this person now, right? So really creating kind of scoring and alerts and visual UX paradigms that drive people to the right leads and the right opportunities at the right time, really allowing them to focus on what they do best, which is building the relationships, converting customers, closing deals, and not on the noise and the things that aren't going to help anybody, right? So it's really win-win-win across the board. So SugarPredict right now, it's in sell. We'll be bringing it out, and I'll talk more about this to more of the product lines. But this is one of the most exciting things that's happened in the company that we've brought out in a long time. It's really game changing for us. So of course, I think it's kind of a no-brainer that this is the thing that we're most excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm also very excited about it. And what about what's next? What's coming down the road for us?
Well, SugarPredict is what we call an ingredient to the platform, right? That's what Rich Green, our CPO, likes to call it. And as an ingredient, you want to add it to, it's kind of like salt, right? Every savory food is going to probably have salt in it. So all of our product lines are going to get injected with Predict, right? And that's the cool thing. So when you look at Sugar Market, today we're doing lead analysis, but that's once they're converted and they're created as leads, not just prospects in the system. So you can imagine that Sugar Market is going to have SugarPredict capabilities added to it. When you think about churn analysis and sentiment analysis and the kind of things that predictive insights being turned to our SugarServe data sets and inside those deployments, really, really cool things with that. So one of the big things is around that is making everything in the portfolio of sugar products as predictive as possible. And that's kind of an obvious step that we're going to do. Some other things less obvious than SugarPredict are really taking the self-service and kind of that next generation of digital engagement to the next level. And we started this process, but we're going to make even more progress on making it easier for customers to access the data they need, to do the things they need to do, to solve their own problems. So it's about self-service, but it's also about, I would say kind of that customer orchestrated process, right? Where they can have more control over, or at least more access into the process of solving their problems, anything that might come from post-sale, managing, anything from deliveries and installs and things like that. So really bringing together our awesome BPM workflow capabilities, building new UX paradigms inside SugarServe and our portal, opening up more of the application to be more customer controlled or customer accessed in a more easy way. So that's everything from allowing customers to start accessing the knowledge base and case management and things without having to do a lot of login capabilities, things like that, FAQs, all that kind of stuff, and then more voice of the customer capabilities, surveys, things like that. So again, you really start to get much more of a handle over the customer, again, as part of that HDCX story. If we can bring the survey data in natively to what we're doing, and it happens as a natural workflow after, say, a case closes, and we can bring that data back in for analysis and put it into SugarPredict, you can kind of see where it all comes together to create this really nice, predictive, optimized, smooth running system, that HDCX that gives you that vision into your customers, so you can take the right actions before a churn event even becomes a possibility. That customers for life concept I talked about.
Awesome. I love that, Martin. Thank you so much. We are going to now jump into our live demo with Eric. So Eric, I'm going to make you presenter somehow. Give me 1 second to figure this out, and then you can share your screen. Perfect.
All right, and you can hear me?
Yes.
And let me double check here, and you can see my slide.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. So just to put some pictures to the words, thank you so much, Martin. We're going to run through just a couple quick things here. But I think it all really comes down to our lifetime commitment to our customers and thinking about continuous innovation. I think that's really the capstone of what you've heard so far. So when we think about the Sugar Live piece, what does it mean? It means that you've got built into CRM already this integration with the Amazon platform. So that enables us to give you that web live chat. It gives voice, dial tone, and IVR response. And as Martin had mentioned with C19, this has been in high demand, that the customers need to be doing more and better customer service, more IVR, voice live chat. These are the things that our customers and the industry is demanding. So all of that comes back to what does the infrastructure look like? So we've already got CRM, and with Amazon Connect behind it supporting all the Sugar Live attributes. So that's really what we're going to take a quick peek at. So in an environment where somebody's online, whether they're just surfing your website, or in this case, an example of somebody's trying to configure something and now they need help, just in the lower right-hand corner, like you've probably seen with other websites, you just click on the I want to chat with somebody. Within Sugar, we pop up that window, and not only does that window pop up where they can start and initiate and have the conversation, but we also have kind of a caller ID function. So whether it's a voice call or whether it's a chat, the system recognizes that and opens up this window, this slider window that shows you who is this person we're talking to, what's going on, and then also even managing the case. If it's an existing case or if it's a net new case, we can go in and create a new one. And then in the upper left, you see that it's recognized who that individual is as part of the chat session. And when we do end that chat, it does actually capture and record that chat session into the database. So it's really closing the loop. It's providing that live response, and it's putting it into the database where we need it for future reference. So those are all really important things. And again, I can't emphasize it enough. This is already there. It's free. It's included. You do have to get an Amazon account to make it work, but the functionality is ready to deploy. Predict, as Martin said, the most exciting thing that's been going on lately. What is Predict? Some of the things that our initial launch, the initial what is it going to do for you right away? Again, it's part of the system. It's included. You get lead fit similarity, or what we call ICP, which is ideal customer profile. And it has an interface. So inside of CRM, you'll see things like this pop up when you look at leads. Lead conversion, is it likely to convert? So when we're in a list view, we can kind of pick and choose through the list and figure out where do I need to spend my time first before, let's go after the cream off the top and go for those leads first. And once we convert them to a lead into an opportunity, the system again wants to take a look at what it thinks your likelihood to close is. So it's giving you some guidance. It's giving you, a little grounding on what's going to happen next, so that you can make some decisions about where to spend your time as an end user. So let's take a peek at some real software. One of the things Martin had mentioned was the slider or the drawers and the renewals console. So how that plays out in the system, if you haven't seen it yet, is when we're in the renewals console and we've got a list of accounts that have contracts, by simply clicking down on there, it just slides right out. It shows you details about that account. And down here you see we've got active subscriptions with progress bars of how long is the contract and how many days are left. So where do we spend our time? Where do we focus? So again, the idea here is how can we provide you the most information with the least amount of navigation? That's the biggest complaint everybody has about CRM is I've got to go all over the place. I've got to click a million times. We seek to reduce those clicks and give you more information. So again, as you drill down and slide through these different interfaces, you just choose the next one and the next one, and it gives you this interface. These 4 quadrants can be modified. These are the 4 that we chose out of the box to give you the comment log and the details, active subscriptions, and recent interactions. On to Predict, and another place where things are, growing and changing. So if we take opportunities, for example, we go into a list of opportunities. You can see right off the bat, I've moved over the column, so it's right here front and center, the first thing you see is the prediction on the opportunity. And we can drill through for details, but if you notice right here, when I mouse over this column, or this row rather, you notice this little slider enables again. So another thing that we can do is, before I leave the list, maybe I want to explore a little more about, before I get into the details of the opportunity and its prediction, well, who am I selling to? What's going on? And even within that, I can drill down again into the account and get even another layer of data. So again, how little navigation we're doing with such a huge wealth of information right in front of us. And now if we need to go in and manage the opportunity, I can still drill through from the list view and get into that view. And now we have predict over here on the right-hand corner that's telling us a little more about, it's very likely to convert. Well, why? I can ask for more information, and it will tell me a little bit about some other companies we've been doing business with, or kind of some of the basis on why it's predicting these things. So, again, the same sort of interface flies through into leads. When we look at leads, we've got the same kind of prediction bar. It's telling us where we should be spending our time. And if we drill through, again, it's going to tell us a little more about these different accounts that we're working on and why they think it's likely to close or less likely to close. So just so much good information that you're looking at in the system. And then one more little tip and trick for you is funnel management. Everybody has to manage a funnel in sales, right? Well, with these new dashboards, we now have a new layer of interaction. So I can drill through on the dashboard, still see the funnel over here on the sidebar to decide what of these opportunities are the ones I need to be focusing on. And then shortcutting, what do I need to do to update my funnel? Usually put in notes, maybe log a call. So if I click on the eyeball here, it's going to give me a view into the opportunity. What are the details? And if I want to log a quick note, again, what happens here, I make a quick phone call to these folks to find out if we can move this forward. And then I want to log a call. The great thing about these buttons is we can make decisions already. So if I'm in a list view, in an opportunity, I'm updating progress about the opportunity. So I have a preset here. It's assumed I've made the outbound phone call and that it's been held. So all I have to do is put in notes and then hit save. And then it returns me right back to the list I was in. So how many steps did we just save here? Probably about 7 clicks that are now just gone. Now we've got the list view, we look at the detail, we click the button, we add the note, we're done, and move on. And then kind of home stretch here. One of the other things that Martin had mentioned was mobile and dark mode. So if we go in here and open up the app, just for a quick look and view, not that people don't know what dark mode is, but again, we can go in here, we can see our dark mode menu. How do we get to it? Again, all these things are in dark mode. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom into the settings, you see in here appearance. Now dark mode is a choice. So now we can get into those things and use our modern dark mode if you like. So back to you, Allie.
Love that. Thank you, Eric. Such great UI changes for Sugar. It's really exciting to see. So let's sum it up then. What do we get?
Yeah, I think a quick synopsis of some of these things is, again, we've been over a lot of these points. Sugar Live, also with that live and that online experience, you get portal as part of that, so you can provide online self-paced access 24/7, again, driving down costs and giving people access whenever they need it. The predict piece, I think everybody's really gonna, the more you see it, and as time goes by, as Martin mentioned, more features are gonna be rolled into predict, where it's an ingredient to the software. It's gonna start appearing and doing things for you in other places. Of course, let's not forget about Discover. If you're in the cloud, that's a great tool that's there for interactive analysis. And Integrate too is changing a little bit with the platform. Some of the strategies around that with the new release. I think it all comes down to the next slide, which is kind of the benefits for the end user. What's in it for me is really what matters. This is all these things are built with the users in mind. What are we going to do to simplify so we can, as you saw, the sliders and the tiles, they just slide in, so I can just read, react, respond. I don't have to navigate all over the place. I'm not bound to data entry. I'm more into data consumption at this point as an end user, so that what it takes for me to do my job becomes easier and more responsive and reactive. And then, you know, we have a lot of other things where we're notifying people about things that are going on in the system. And all of this comes back to what's called the 3x factor, which is every piece of data I put in the system benefits me times 3. So the easy 3 are I put data in the system so I can access it. I put data in the system, other people can access it. Marketing can access it. I can see what marketing is doing. That's the 4x, the 5x. Services doing things, I can see what they're doing. It just keeps multiplying beyond. And again, it all comes back to me with a notification to tell me what's important and what I need to do next.
Yeah, I love that. Just making it easier and easier for users. So we're going to launch into some questions now. I have a bunch actually. Our first question is how do SugarSell and SugarServe and SugarMarket, how do these relate to the legacy platforms, enterprise and professional?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the data model, a good amount of the UX experience, if you're on a more recent version of enterprise or professional, is really a lot of the same. You know, the underlying BPM or workflow if you're on enterprise, that kind of thing. So the great thing is that, you know, the functionality at the core, the data and data model, all those things are pretty much the same. And then if you were actually to make a move over the cloud, for example, if that's probably what the underlying concern is in the question, if I'm kind of reading between the lines, is there's really not a lot of heavy lifting, because you're really just kind of placing that instance into the cloud because all the other stuff matches, so to speak. And then it starts running against those AI engines and the CXP and all that really cool stuff. So at the end of the day, there are some like light featurettes, I would say, little features that you get, and integration and capabilities like SugarLive and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, SugarLive is soon going to be available for sell, for outbound calling and things like that, for telesales and things like that. So you get capabilities, but at the core, it's sugar code. So that's the good thing. So if you're a legacy customer using enterprise, for example, and you're on, you know, 10 plus, it's really not a Herculean effort to move to the cloud, for example, to take advantage of all the cool stuff that Eric was talking about, because they are kind of, you know, at the core, they're basically the same.
Yeah, and if you bump back to the apples to apples slide, that really answers the question. Is the difference between those is some of the services that are part of the new release, Live, Portal, Predict, the new Integrate and Discover. Those 5 pieces are not available through the enterprise platform, where now there's services through the Amazon. So that's really the big differentiator.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is as we invest more and more in these as services, that means your maintenance and your upgrade and just any of your downtime, that's going to be really minimal, because these are just pushed to you rather than things you have to manage or that you have to have BrainSell manage for you. So it really just makes it easier. It's an easy button, so to speak.
Right, and also just to add to that, you know, we're helping a lot of customers who are on premise, on enterprise or professional, but also those who are on the cloud on professional and enterprise versions, make the migration to SugarSell, SugarServe, or a combination of both. So it's, you know, we can talk about that too individually with folks who are interested in learning more about what that takes. But as Martin said, it's not a Herculean effort. Same
well, and the
makes it really easy.
And the upgrades too. They're quarterly, and with mobile, as Martin mentioned, almost monthly. Those new features that are being trickled out, they just keep coming.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I have another question here, and please keep them coming, guys. Put them right into the question box. We're happy to get to a few of them before we run out of time. This one I think has already been answered, but let's just make sure. If I'm on premise, will I ever get Sugar Predict?
That's a kind of, I can say with some certainty that I would say no for the foreseeable future. And the foreseeable future, it can be pretty long. You know, the main idea of Predict is that ability to leverage, which again is in the cloud and the third-party service, instantly this huge array of data, as well as our time-aware platform, which again only exists in the cloud product. So when you look at the combination of factors that make Predict capable, you really have to be in the Sugar Cloud to make that happen. So it's probably not going to be something that we could push down, because you almost have to reinvent that entire world. All that infrastructure each time, and that's just, now that becomes Herculean, right? So it's safe to say that that's kind of a resounding no.
Okay, so one of the benefits of being on the cloud. How about, do I need to buy mobile licenses?
Nope. The great thing, if you have individuals who exist in Sugar, they automatically have mobile access. So it's kind of a one-to-one. So if you have 200 people in your company and 100 of them use Sugar, they all have mobile access. But if you want to extend that to people who don't use Sugar today, you just got to create Sugar licenses for them, and then they get mobile access. Mobile access is kind of a one-to-one, and you can't kind of mix and match it, right? Like you authenticate as yourself in mobile through your login, and it's just automatically there. So it's however many Sugar licenses you have theoretically mobile licenses for it.
And I think an often overlooked aspect here too, if you're going to look across the board of other competitors, is our build for mobile is part of the existing admin infrastructure. You don't have to go write an iOS app. You don't have to know how to write an Android app. It's all built into the wrapper. So it's one development environment, which is a tremendous savings of time compared to some of the other peers out there in the market.
Yeah, and one of the cool things is that, if you have, field sales, field service, kind of light scenarios where you want people to be able to do check-in, to be QR scanning and do all that type of stuff, that maybe, you've got people that go out to stores or they go out to other locations, you can build these custom apps with what we call our mobile SDK for no cost at all, right? So again, you can create these mobile experiences for your employees when they're on the go versus when they're at their desk that are very, highly differentiated and optimized for when they're mobile versus when they're at the office or at home for remote workers, and it doesn't cost anything. It's just the development kind of time and the imagination that you need, and all these resources are available essentially for free, and BrainSell knows all about the stuff. So if you've got an idea, they could probably make it happen for you for a mobile experience that would not extend any license cost.
Absolutely. Great. Well, I think that wraps up our questions. For those of you that are still with us, thank you so much for attending. We are offering a special offer on licenses through the end of the month, so something to take advantage of if you have new hires coming on or growing your team in any way. This is 40% off serve or sell add-on licenses and 30% off serve full use licenses, 40% off sell for serve add-on, and 30% off sell full use licenses. Please email us at growth@brainsell.net if you're interested, and we will put together pricing for you. I'm so excited about all the new stuff that's coming out at Sugar. Martin and Eric, it's been great. Thank you guys so much, and we will be in touch.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye now.